Everyone in the world is worried right now. We're worried about our collective well-being, and of course, we're worried about ourselves and our own unique circumstances. Pregnant mothers giving birth during COVID-19 related lockdowns face uncertainty and potentially life-threatening challenges. We're joined today by Rafika and her husband Yazid, who recently experienced childbirth during lockdown. Welcome to The Loft, you two.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Rafika, share your story of how you found out that you were pregnant with your beautiful twins.
So we got married in December, December 2019. And we discussed that we wanted children immediately. And I found out in
January. Yeah.
We found out in January that I was pregnant. And then a couple of months later, then I found out that I'm expecting twins.
As a father, hearing the news that you're not only expecting one little bundle of joy, but you've doubled up on the joy.
Yeah, definitely. It was a shock. We also didn't plan on having it so soon. I mean, we didn't take measures to prevent it because we decided that we're going to start right away, but it was so soon. And then I think the first checkup we determined it was a positive pregnancy. And then the second checkup, she actually went to the doctor because she was feeling pains, and then all of a sudden, all the symptoms stopped.
So that I actually thought it was miscarriage.
Wow.
Yeah, so worriedly we went to the doctor, and then, you know, we expected the worst, but then we doubled up.
I love that. You took something that could have been a very sad situation, but it still decided to become a blessing at the end. Now, speaking about that fear and uncertainty, I mean, the coronavirus impacted your lives in so many ways. Please may you share some of the extra pressures that you were being faced with?
Yeah, look, it was, you know, it's the small things that are difficult. Like, you know, Rafika's craving she had during lockdown, and, you know, because lockdown started, she craved for things that we couldn't get, and it was difficult because it was a constant struggle. I work in my industry where I work, I didn't have lockdown, so I kept working, and then I had to always be, you know, it was very difficult to always stay sanitized and careful. And obviously, because your wife is pregnant at home, you're extra cautious. And we had a big scare as well, where one of my colleagues was also tested positive. And then we actually went into quarantine at one stage where I went for the test, and while we waited for the test, we had to stay in separate rooms. And as you can imagine, that's very difficult because Rafika had a tough time in the beginning where she had trouble moving, and, you know, simple things like when she drops stuff, she having to pick it up to bend over. And if you know Rafika, she's quite clumsy, so she drops stuff all the time. So, yeah, and then having me in the house but not being able to help her, it was really difficult.
Now, along with the pregnancy, I know you guys did experience, unfortunately, a very difficult pregnancy. But Yazid and Rafika, I can also imagine the ideal birthing plan you had for your twins. Can you share that with us?
Look, ideally, Rafika was very nervous. And then, so our ideal plan was to have like a planned birth. So, look, but this is at the stage where before we even knew that we are going to have twins. So, we wanted a planned birth, which is normally a cesarean, and then, you know, just while we have everything prepared and we come home and the baby's there, the nursery's ready and everything. And obviously our family, yeah. So, in reality, we had none of the. The babies came 3 months early. Instead of a cesarean, she had natural birth, which was a shock. And yeah, look, and I felt completely on the outside because I wasn't there for anything. Currently, I haven't seen them in, well, you know, in person, I haven't seen my daughters yet.
Something that should have been something that you celebrated and that you're able to be there and call Ogogo and Omalume, the extended family, to be involved in. Rafika had to be in that situation alone. And even to this day, I can't believe that you haven't met your darling twins yet. I mean, and being under the public healthcare system. What was that experience like, Rafika, on a daily basis? And were you feeling taken care of?
It wasn't nice. It wasn't a nice experience at all. I can remember crying every single night. Though. Like, Yazid, can I please come home? I want to come home. Then Yazid would tell me, Rafika, you need to be strong. You need to be strong for the children. And I think what made it worse was I wasn't the only one that was going through the whole not seeing their family. I've seen people cry themselves to sleep. There were people that were in the hospital for 2 months. I was only in hospital for like 3 days, 4 days. And the whole sleeping with a mask. When I needed to shower, I needed to take my sanitizer with me. I was scared to touch the taps. I was scared to touch anything so that I don't get sick.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a nice experience at all.
Yazid, what has it been like for you since Rafika went into labor and has had the twins?
Look, it's been very emotional, to be honest. You know, we from 27th week when we found out that it's a difficult pregnancy, where the doctors and on a few occasions told us that the babies weren't going to make it. But yeah, it was very stressful. Obviously, giving birth to both babies and them being healthy was, to be honest, a shock. Based on everything we've heard thus far, everything the doctors have told us, you know, it was a shock. And obviously, it was our prayers were answered, you know. So yeah, I'm very happy to have them healthy, and you know. It was a surprise for them to come so early, but we were happy that they did because, you know, it was a constant state of fear and panic, and every pain she had felt like, you know, this is it. And every time she doesn't feel the baby's kicking for a long time, it's like, yes, something's wrong. And, you know, so it was living in constant fear. That stage. So at least now, while they're out, they're monitored by the doctors and the nurses in Nike. You know, it's a little bit of a relief. It's just very difficult for me. You know, I know physically that I have 2 babies in the hospital, but I haven't seen them. I haven't felt them. You know, and they've obviously haven't Rafika gets to pick them up and, you know, can't get with them.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen or heard their father, which is, yeah, it's a bit sad.
It is. It's very devastating. I have to ask you, within this moment, Yazid, when those twins are finally home and finally in your arms, what are you most looking forward to doing?
I don't know. Honestly, I just want him at this stage to come home, and I'll probably end up sitting up with him all night, trying to figure out I'm going to hold both of them at the same time. So, yeah.
Finally, to you two, any advice and tips do you have for expecting moms and parents during this time?
Stay connected with family and friends, because even though it's via phone call, via video call, it really helps a lot to speak to people and find ways that can help you cope, because it is really difficult. Seeing that you can't see your family, and like I can remember, yes, he constantly would tell me, you need to be strong, you need to be strong, but I cried because I just felt like I needed to cry. I just needed to get all my emotions out, and that actually does make you stronger in a way.
I always think of it as sanitizing myself and cleansing myself from the inside out, getting all those tears out, getting everything out. It's very therapeutic on its own. And for yourself, Yazid, for the fathers out there who can't wait to deliver their brand new babies, but unfortunately might not be able to.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just to stay positive, you know. Even when things do get difficult, most of the time, you know, you have a positive outcome. The babies are a lot more resilient and stronger than you think. So yeah, just stay positive and, you know, have faith.
Yeah. Absolutely. Said like true parents, motivational parents and inspiring parents on this Monday. Thank you so much to Rafika and Yazid for joining us on Afternoon Express and sharing the journey to welcoming the twins onto this earth. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
Head over to our social media platform, South Africa, please, if you do identify with this story. If you or a family member are expecting a young one, what are you most looking forward to sharing with them as soon as they come home? Share that hashtag Afternoon Express.